Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste and welcome everyone to Satsang today. Sadguru Sri Muji Baba Ki Jai. For many, I realize that today is the last satsang like this. No? Tomorrow we may or may not, depends. So, because in the evening we go to Mahadev Ki, so let's see what the morning is like. So, if you have some questions or something is not clear or you're feeling shy, something still bothering you, but you feel like it's not spiritually worthy, how can I be so dumb still? This kind of thing. You ask and then we'll forget who asked. Okay? So, out with it so that you can be done with it. Come close.
Sometimes the question comes up, do I have a problem?
Yeah.
And I check and I say no, not really. And after satsang, because I heard some problems come up, and some problems actually came up, and I check and I say, okay, let's see if the problem is there tomorrow at satsang, then let's see.
Yeah.
But problem is not there anymore, so okay. So I'm quite okay. Yeah.
This is a conundrum which I'm unable to solve, because often I hear this, that when I'm sitting in front of you there's no problem. No? But when I'm not, you see? So how to deal with it without being there? You see? One way possibly to deal with it then is for this, which this one is representing at the moment, you see, is your own divine presence, which is always there. You see? So this is just a representation, an instrument of that. You see? But somehow, maybe it wants some of you to come to satsang, otherwise I get too bored or something. That's why it gives you a problem like that, no? In the play of the world, it seems, so that I get to see you. But truly there is nothing special about this one. It is just your whole own holy presence, you see, which this body is being used by. You see. So that never leaves you. So how to deal with that problem while I'm not there?
That's not really the question how to deal with that problem, because in my experience the problem goes away by itself, so I don't have to get into the problem, and it's not necessary. So
you don't have to go digging in your mind for problem solution. Your heart already knows the answer. But again, when I use the word heart, I do it with some trepidation, because for most of humanity, heart implies emotion or some emotional center. Many people who say that I am not so much in the mind, I am mostly in the heart. You see, I am very heart. They are usually saying I am very emotional. You see, I am very emotional. But the heart that we are speaking of in satsang is your intuitive presence, your intuitive sense of truths, the way of the truths. So, it is not true that we need to apply to any aspect of life. We need to apply so much effort in our minds. You see. We just have to go to that which knows all there is to know, and all there is to know is the self. So beautiful, because there is nothing unresolved. Like Master Bankai said, all things are perfectly resolved in the unborn. You see, he did not say only spiritual matters or this versus that. All things. It's very good. Anything you feel is still missing? Any idea of almost there?
Not really. Of course, those thoughts, they come up from time to time, but I ignore them.
Good. Good. You see, there's a difference between letting go and repression. Many times people get confused and they feel like if what you say, if I ignore them means just let them come and go. You see, many confuse that to be repressing something. You see, so repression is done out of a fear of facing something, and letting go is done out of a complete openness. You see, complete defenselessness. You see, repression means you're scared and you don't want to deal with it. So, like an ostrich, you put your head in the sand. You see, that would be to repress. But to be completely open means everything can come. You see, every thought can come, every proposal from the mind can come, but it is allowed to go in my full openness, in my full defenselessness. You see, that is great courage, that is great fearlessness. It is not a repression. So this is good. Good start. What else? Doesn't mean only for the ones that are going. Anyone can. You don't have to force yourself to think about it. Only if something is there. He's saying, ask a question. Why? Not like that. You're not hungry for questions. It's just if there's something but you're still holding back.
I have still...
louder or closer?
Actually, I cannot figure out that one.
Yeah.
There is a fear of going from here, like...
fear of leaving here?
And there is a big fight going in the mind, like there is nothing like that. I mean, mind is trying to justify that one, or opposing this kind of thoughts.
What is more message in the fear? What could happen to you if you leave? You lose something. Huh?
Because I have no definite plan.
I have no definite plan. Same here, same.
So, and so
What is the worst that could happen because of the lack of a definite plan?
The past, the stress and struggle is still, I have an impression like it will come, or
there's some stress, some struggle. There's a fear that that might return. Then you return. Grace will make the way. No? It will make the way. Because the mind will say, but I can't keep doing this, no? I have to get on with my life or something. Something.
And sometimes it says there is no difference between normal life and spirituality.
Yeah.
You are just making that difference and you are struggling yourself with that one. And sometimes
the intellect is only solving non-existent problems. You see? Now, the result of this kind of question, is there a difference in normal life and spiritual life? You see, whether you say yes or whether you say no, and depending on the credibility of the speaker, you can agree to either answer, but what does that answer actually give you? You see, just a band-aid over the intellectual void. No? There's a gap, and there's a need to conclude. So the gift I want to give you before you go is that let these gaps be gaps. You don't have to conclude anything.
And there is a still trying to solve the worldly problems. And sometimes I go with that one and finally it seems like I lost in that one. But somehow it's revealed that it's a part of thing. But still there is a fear of that one, like I may caught up in that.
You may get caught up. Yes. So, but all the insights, all the contemplations, everything that we have seen together is with you. You see, it will not leave you.
And I love to be with you.
I love to be with you too, my dear. So let's not preempt grace. Let's see how it all plays out. You don't know. Everything is the Master's grace. Everything. God is not going to mess up your life. Yes. Both of you are there. Support each other, help each other like you have been. You'll be fine. Also, you're not so far because you will join on Zoom and things. I see you there. See, even Guruji says that when he was in this process, let's call it, he used to have this fear that he'll become like a hunchback beggar like Quasimodo begging on the streets of Brixton or something, you see. And we can sometimes have the reverse fear also, that I'll get to my work life, I'll get into the corporate world, and I get stuck in that, and I forget about all this. You see? Don't worry, all that is. It's the same fear, you see, it's just the flip side of the same coin. I'm familiar with this one actually. What if work just sucks me in, and then I forget about all this. It's so clear now, you see? And yet in this life, both seem to flow. Now I can't predict how it will go in the future, but at least for the moment. But one tip I have for you is that because there's this notion of trying to balance both worlds, you see? Don't worry about that notion at all, because that puts additional burden. You don't have to balance life. Life is balancing well enough. You see, when you try to balance too much, it goes off balance. Because we compartmentalize too much. We make distinction between satsang and work and, you see, family and things like that. You don't have to balance anything. Either way, it is all win-win-win. Whichever way it goes, victory is guaranteed. Then close or loud?
I speak louder. Is it
Can you hear him? Thumbs up for if you can hear the question now. Say something. He's coming.
So I'm still believing or holding on to this idea that when I know the truth, I will know something. Since I have not knowing that something.
What would be the evidence that you know something? Like, for example, what?
Okay. I will tell you why it feels like that.
I didn't ask that.
Okay.
I said, what would you know if you were to know?
That I will answer. What is that? When I stopped almost like stopped watching news channels. So because whenever I see a lot of things happening, then I feel when I get there, because there is only one. Mm-hmm. So if when I am that one, I am going to stop the world. I'm going to stop the world.
The world?
Yeah.
The world?
Because so many things are happening which are hurting. Okay. But then I thought, I am not the first one to get this kind of thoughts. People have thought about it, but when they get there, they have not stopped the world. Because they know something. So that is why I am saying when I get there, I know something.
Once you see these horrific events on news, you have this idea that because I'm one with everything, I could stop the world. I'm tired of the horrific events, I'll stop the world. But you're saying that is not valid because others have discovered this truth and they have not stopped the world. You see, how do you know?
This world is still going on.
Apparently. You stop the world every night, no? And you're tired of not just the bad stuff, but even the good stuff we get tired of. All this experiential universe, we get tired of it after a while and we just want to rest as ourselves and we experience just ourselves, empty of any phenomena. That is called deep sleep. Then we can't, provisionally we have to say we want to, but we want to experience some taste again, and you don't know which world is going to show up. You see? Now in this world you may call that a dream world, you see? But there is no real phenomenal distinction between all of these, any of these realms or states. You see? But you, as the one who you are thinking that you are, you see, can't do any of this. You see? Any idea that you have about yourself cannot do any of this. I am speaking of just yourself. So all of this world is happening, appearing and disappearing only in your light. Have you ever experienced the world without you being there?
No.
You see? Now, don't try to fit this into your intellect. You see? Because your intellect can't handle this. Let this be just your intuitive insight whenever it has to appear.
Are you saying that it's my projection?
My as what? I'm saying it is your projection, but not any idea you have about yourself.
Yeah. Okay.
Many years ago, maybe 2000, close to the year 2000, 2001 maybe, I met a Swamiji from the Chinmaya mission, many years ago. I said to him, just like this I was sitting there, if all of this is my mind, you see, why can't I just visualize a palace and live in that? You see? And he said to me an answer which I could not understand. I only wanted to show off at that time. You know, how deeply I'm contemplating such an important question. You know? They're all nonsense, of course. But so he said to me, you are confusing big mind and small mind. And I didn't know the distinction then. Like in Indian spirituality, many times consciousness itself is referred to as the big mind, and this egoic mind is referred to as the small mind. So any idea we have about ourselves is a small mind. If you think that that one can do something, it is impossible. Like I said yesterday, I can't even move a finger. If you could do everything, what would you want?
I don't know.
That's good. Because if we know like that, that is called a desire. And then that desire is resistance to what is. You see? You are doing this, that is more than enough. This one, no? Just settle down. I'm telling you guys, if you go digging there, you're never going to find gold. The gold is already there with you. You are it. Not even that you're swimming in it, you are it. It's just the habit. You see it.
Yeah.
Because we have been oscillating like this together for a few times. The intellect takes hold of something and says, this is valid, you have to solve this, till you come to the right conclusion about this. Till then you're not done. How is it actually? It will say, how is it actually? Does it know anything about anything so far? All it has is labels and interpretations. We go on this merry-go-round with these labels and interpretations because there is no answer in any of them. They just lead to more words, and those words lead to more words, and those. So you have the whole dictionary in one word. Every idea contains every other idea, and that idea is me, the idea of me. So we move away from this constant wanting to grasp to just a gentle resting. It's more of a resting. If whatever you could ever want was already yours, would you seek or would you rest? Now the strange thing is that when you allow yourself to rest even for a moment, then this becomes apparent to you. The mind wants evidence first. It doesn't want to trust. See? Show me everything is mine first, then you can rest. Then I'll rest, no problem. But show me, you see? But here you have to trust. You see? Rest a bit and see. Put down your seeking for a moment. Then and don't judge. Am I getting it yet? Am I doing this right? Am I really resting? Let it all come and go. This is just the mind traffic. You are only truth. You are only self-knowledge. That is your reality. But the mask that you put on is very limiting. The mask that we put on. Now, we are only plagued by our intellect, solving non-existent problems, valuing non-existent answers. If there were no opposites, no good or bad, better or worse, right or wrong, just what is, how would you suffer? that in the work life, there's this. So I just want to, like this is coming up to say, spirituality is the ultimate kiss. What they say at work, no? What is kiss? Keep it simple, stupid. A nicer version of that. Keep it simple, silly. Yeah. So the minute you're going to complexity, it is mental. Just keep it simple. What is the simplest thing you can do now? Yeah?
Be quiet.
Simplest thing to be quiet. One simpler. Just be. Just one more. Like if you didn't even know what the term be meant, would you lose being if you forgot the term being? If you lost the intention to just be, would you not be? Does it seem impossible? Only in the mind, you see. Actually, it is effortlessly like that. Simpler than just being is your being. Is it? Simpler than just being is your being. Anything more complex than that is the mind. Everything more complex than that is the mind. Want to close this? You'll survive. No strategy, no tactics, nothing at all. What is here simply is. This is. Okay, let's try. Let's see. That which is here now. Is it? That which is here now. Which thought can make it better? Think an exceptional thought, like fantastic thought, and see if it makes just what naturally is better in any way. It just doesn't, you see. It cannot make any impact. You see? And yet the whole egoic attempt is that, to resist what is, to present something better. And we are so caught in this better, our whole life is stuck in this better and worse. You see? Should I be here? Should I go there? Which is better? Should I ask this question? Should I not ask? Is that better? Everything is stuck in this better and worse, better and worse. In reality, there is no such thing as better or worse. It is just what it is. So this misery of these opposites of good and bad is the apple that Adam ate. The misery of this duality. So would it be better to talk better? Is it? All communication, even the sharing of satsang, is in that paradigm. But at least it is trying to point you out of that. Because that would be better. But what is cannot get better or worse. Just is. So all these propositions from the mind are for what? Only for what is not. You see, what never is. What never is can get better or worse. Not what is. No matter how many times you think, no matter what pristine thought you may get, you cannot improve upon this. What is there to struggle? Your very presence is God itself. Your very presence is God itself. How can you struggle? Something?
I just more and more, I'm noticing the seeker going and passing, and going and passing, and just from this, and I keep laughing because I see still just the gentlest temptation into having to do something.
Yeah.
And then it's seen and it passes, the next moment, the seeker comes again, I'm just enjoying, watching it just go round and round and round.
The seeker itself is the temptation to do something, you're saying?
Yes. But it's all utterly resolved,
Yes.
it just then, it's fun to watch, then it's like, oh, but then what was that? Same thing, It's good.
Yeah.
So, then, even its commentary on how beautifully resolved everything is.
Yeah.
Oh, so this, and it just, I'm just enjoying.
Can I say something? When you said your very presence is God,
Forget it. Forget it. I never said. You misheard. What will you understand? That's what I'm saying. Anything complex, just leave it. If it rings true in your heart, keep it. If it doesn't ring true in your heart, leave it. It's just an addiction. You have to solve something. Oh, I didn't understand that. Good. Understood it? Good. Keep it. Didn't understand it? Good. Leave it. It's all good. Not listening. You feel something is incomplete till you understand something.
not about understanding. If I don't want to put it in very polite way, then just show me.
Show me. I am showing you every day.
I'm not seeing it.
You're only seeing it. But you're denying it in your mind. All you see is it.
Where?
Everywhere. All you see is it. Do you exist?
Yeah.
That is it. Everything is in the light of your existence. That is it. What you want it to be. I am showing you what it is. What do you want it to be?
It means me. I want me to be free.
It means me? You wanted to see God. No? How did it become about you?
Okay, God or self, anything. I want to see. I'm not denying. Okay, I'm not sure whether it is there or not until I see it or know it.
Okay. Do you exist?
I do exist.
This existence is God. Who knows of its existence?
I.
That is you. That's it. You will never find any other self in that. You see? And as I say every day, if you don't burden this discovery with what should happen to me because of it, no trouble. No mental gymnastics of any sort are needed. Utter simplicity, utter simplicity. So, Father, am I understanding well that you say that there is no need to even constantly think about this, as Vibhu says hereafter, because I am already that. Everything is the Supreme Being, which is existence, consciousness, bliss, and I am that. By constantly cultivating this pure thought, get rid of impure thoughts. But if I remember myself sometimes about this, when I feel myself getting caught up in the mind, then is it okay? It is okay, isn't it, Father? You need one pointer. One pointer. Whichever pointer resonates best with you, that brings you back to your open and emptiness, use that pointer. You see, but you don't need more than one. Even from all the scriptures, take something. If you are tied to the Vibhu Gita, take one thing. If it is this, then just take that. You don't need to make a warehouse of pointers. Just one thing. One thorn, no? To expand on Bhagavan metaphor, you need a thorn to remove the other thorns. But you don't need more than one thorn. Right? Just one thorn is enough. Whether the thorn is Guru Kripa Kevalam, which in all is the Master's grace, or it is who am I, or it is Aham Brahman Asmi, I am that Brahman. Whichever you feel like makes you just, brings you to that simplicity of beyond even just being, the idea that I just have to be. For some that can be the pointer, I just be. I just want to be. But hopefully it is pointing you to beyond this intention, emptier even of this intention. Hope that clarifies. Many times in the just reading of the scriptures, many things are lost in translation between the Sanskrit and the English, and many times it's good to have a master with direct insight explain them to you, because otherwise a lot of misunderstanding will come. No master will advise you to constantly think about something because it is not a product of your thinking ever. So the thought or the pointer or the stick, which I'm saying you have license to one of them, is just to clear up, to do the clean up job. But the truth is never contained in a thought, no matter how glorious that thought may be. All you have to do is whatever happens before the sound of the click. That's all you have to do. Whatever happens before the sound of the click, you are free. Now, the mind can't keep up with you actually. It's constantly chasing you, but you are just too fleeting for the mind. Unless you are just in a sort of stillness, in a sort of stillness, and just allowing yourself to be hypnotized by it. See? The hypnotist will come. You are feeling sleepy. You are this body. Okay? And the best news is what? You may be deeply hypnotized for a long time, but no matter what the precondition is, nothing to be fixed. So it is the poor mind which is struggling to convince God that it is personal. And no matter what it does, ever-present freedom. So these days I've been saying that I don't want your stillness, I want your freshness. Because most of what I've seen over the years is when we are thinking we are being very still, we are being very stale actually. We're just like, we perfected the outward pose by now. Very yogic. Right. But inwardly we're just like, so that's what I'm saying, just come with me. You don't get stuck anywhere. You come with me. Fresh. Whatever, wherever you are. Come. Keep moving. No stillness here. No stillness. Nobody is getting still. Be fresh. Just like that. Huh? Who's with me? Come. Don't get stuck anywhere. Don't meditate. Be still. Cannot catch you. You see, the mind can't catch you till you just go into that kind of. It's just the habit, the need to conclude something. What does this mean? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Keep trying to interpret everything in our existence and try to capture it in the box of meaning. No? It doesn't mean anything. Then the question is it helpful to read or listen to the Ribu Gita daily? as they have done while Bhagavan was with them physically, or even that is not necessary. So, nothing really is necessary, you see? But among all the unnecessary things, this could be the most auspicious. There is no precondition to your freedom, not even the greatest scripture. Nothing you need to hear. So nothing is really necessary. But among all the unnecessary things, this could be one of the best. So what I'm saying is, if you feel like something is necessary, this is very good. I never saw a bird read the Ripu Gita. Yet it is quite free. If you feel that we are diseased, then some remedy could be necessary, but it's never true. What do you need to exist? How are you holding up your being? Is your intention to just be holding up your being? And that being is forever free. Forever free. Now, as Bhagavan said, if there is a notion, so this being is I am. You see, I amness. So, but if there is a notion, I am something, you see, then that notion needs to be dissolved, chopped, whatever you call it. You see. Now there are various tools to dissolve it, and all the pointers, all the scriptures are so that it can be dissolved. You see. But I have the best news for you. The best news is that dissolve. Nobody can carry conditioning through a click. Like be conditioned. What do you do? Like be conditioned. Be deeply identified. And I'm going to click, but you have to continue to be. You see? You just can't. Then you have to think for what will happen. You just have to go through some resistance on the mind saying it can't be that simple, but there must be more, but I'm still stuck. You see? This is just post facto stuff which comes. Before the click, free. So your being is Ribhu. Your being is Ribhu already. Does Ribhu need to read the Ribhu Gita? But if you feel like you're something else, then it's good to read it. It's good to read it. Then you say, thank you very much, beloved Father, for your overflowing grace that unburdened me instantly after you answered my question yesterday. Today also only your most fresh grace is here. Very good, very good. I am very grateful for you, beloved. You too, my dear. Thank you. Fresh God is here. Don't settle for any staleness. Nothing is needed from the past. Your highest awakening experience in the past, throw it away. It's all nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Flesh God is greater than anything. Whatever it may be, you don't need to value anything in that graveyard of the past. Yes, fresh. You are never going to meet an enlightened being more enlightened than you right in this moment. Your very being is the light of this universe. But if you judge yourself, if you interpret yourself, you put yourself into a small box, you will play as if you are individualized consciousness. It is never true. How to go from Jivatma to Paramatma? And how to go from Paramatma to Jivatma? That's all that happened. Very nice. This is I like very much. How to go from Jivatma to Paramatma? Is it? How to go from Paramatma to Jivatma? That's it. That's all we are saying. You know what the problem of the spiritual seeker is? Going from Paramatma to Jivatma, wanting Paramatma. Wanting the final absolute as individualized consciousness. And that is why the seeker can never really be satisfied. It can only be transcended. It can only be let go of. The one that wants can never get. The one that is always is. Isn't it? One day, if there's some energy and inclination, we should see if we can compile something on just spiritual traps. Like this stillness versus stillness. Many feel like they're being very still, actually they get very still just in that thing. There are many things that we speak about every day which are just spiritual traps. Like most are doing the inquiry wrong. You know? Most are just like inquiring, saying, who am I? Asking who am I and then expecting peace or joy or something. So when you, like many will say, I did inquiry for a long time, then it stopped working for me. You see? And I ask them, so what was it meant to do? You see? No, initially when I used to do it, I used to get a lot of peace. You see? And I said, what does that have to do with the inquiry? He said, the inquiry is who am I? So many are doing spiritual sightseeing using the mantra of who am I? Like, who am I? Ah, so peaceful, so nice, thank you. And sometimes, who am I? Like, what about my email? Oh, inquiry is not working for me. You see? There's nothing to do with that. You see? Who are you? Who is witnessing either the peace or the lack of it? Whatever comes, you see, can be used to inquire. There are many things like this which are confusing a lot of seekers. Many are trying to see God, many are trying to see something else, the self, perceive something, till I have the final experience. You see. Most are waiting for the intellect to be non-troublesome. You see. Most are waiting for the intellectual framework to be complete. That's it. Many are trying to figure out whether they are the doer or not. That's a very popular theme right now. Whether they are the doer or not. In either conclusion, like we were saying yesterday, I am the doer. You see, who is the you which is the doer? Or especially I am not the doer. Who is this you which is not the doer? There is no such you. I still call it I. But I am not the doer. I am not the doer. You're only not the doer because that you doesn't exist. But a deeper contemplation I would recommend really is that what is doing. It's such a deeply ingrained human condition to consider something to be doing, you see, that we are obsessed with that. Okay? So, and because we are so obsessed with that, we have to pin it somewhere, no? We have to pin it on someone. So we have to conclude, is Ananta moving this hand? And if it's not Ananta, then it must be God. You see? But what if I tell you there is no such thing as doing? It's just another notion. See what I'm saying? The mind frames these reference points and you're stuck with them. You know, if you get stuck with them, then no matter how we resolve them, we're still stuck in mind. What makes this a doing and the breeze are happening? There's a sense of the idea of agency. No? And when we don't find an individual agent, we have to pin it on something. God is doing everything. But God is not doing anything. God doesn't have the notion of doing or not doing. For all of us in spirituality, somewhere when we hear Papaji said nothing has ever happened, somewhere in our heart it rings true. We can't figure it out. We can't figure it out, but somewhere it appeals. Something in this. But to come to that pure seeing, we have to notice that a lot of notions are still playing out. Mind first convinces you there is a doing, then it forces you to contemplate who is the doer of this doing. And then you're stuck in a second level, third level delusion. time, space, and everything which is in time and space are just notions. You want to meet the Absolute? There you go. You want to meet the False? Think about it. What do you think? Somebody vacuuming or what's happening?
Construction.
Or drill?
Yeah.
You're drilling down a whole wall or something? Maybe polish. All clear?
It's clear that I can't figure out anything.
Yes. Once we figure that out, no? That's the maximum we can figure out. That I can't figure out anything ever. Really? Then it's easy. Are you lost without figuring out? Because this is what we've been conditioned to believe. That unless we have it all figured out, we are lost. Things will be a mess. The Supreme Intelligence is only apparent when we stop trying to figure it out. All good? Haven't heard a Gopala tantrum for many days. All got sorted last 2-3 weeks back. Just you have to act like once or twice a month so that it can feel like just for old time's sake.
Some fun, no? Some fun.
Some fun.
That's how it started.
That's how it started. You forgot you were acting. It's true.
Come on, Gopala.
Let's have some fun. 2 minutes you're back.
Yesterday, I really wanted to tell, let's go for dance.
Let's go for
It
dance.
was Wednesday,
Yeah.
Yes.
Tinamo, dance.
Hmm.
And you said that before going to Rishikesh, we'll all go and dance.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
this is true. This is true. I do remember saying something. Why not? All good? Bus? Where is Govind today? Resting? Jet lag?
Is at our house for a long time downstairs.
Uh-huh.
Making tea and Yeah. then
Yeah,
but
he's
he went
been
back to
downstairs
his
for really long. Every day.
He overslept.
Yeah.
Does he know the new time? Yes. Thank you all for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki
Jai. Satsguru Shri Ananta-Part ki Jai.
Guru Kripa ke bal. One says, Father, may you please pray for me to come to Rishikesh. Love you and thank you.